Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is HD StarCraft coming at you guys one more time this weekend with another special StarCraft 2 broadcast. Today I will not be doing another pro game, but I'll be doing a special game between my good friend Check6 Pain User and my cousin Babyfa, who is the red Zerg at the top left, and of course Pain User, the blue Terran, at the bottom left. It is currently the weekend. I think it's the weekend. Look, I'm like indoors right now Friday night. I'm a true gamer, guys. I don't know if you guys caught my last cast. I said that I'm up in the wee hours late at night playing games, so I'm also up during the weekend too, man. I have no life but StarCraft 2, and that is why I'm here to bring you guys another excellent set of games. Now, this is actually not a set, now that I think about it. This is going to be a show match, just one game. It's, I guess you could say, it's the continuation of the last series that they did, the best of 3. A lot of people really enjoyed it. You guys really liked watching these two guys duke it out, and I'll say it again if you didn't see the last set. They're really, really good players. Babyfa is, I think he's Grandmasters, or he's always flirting around and not really taking ladder seriously. He plays more CGs, custom games, that's what CGs mean, than ladder. So I know Pain User should be Grandmaster. If he didn't make it this season, he certainly will next season. And they are so good. And when they match up against each other, they really have good matches. So I'm excited for this one. They asked me to cast it, so I'm bringing it to you. And I hope you guys enjoy. Once again, it is the weekend, unless my schedule is completely wrong again. I think it is. In the last couple casts, I said it was Tuesday when it was actually Wednesday, and like, don't remember that. No, HD is not good at the calendar, so just don't ever ask me for what day it is, what time it is, or anything like that. And should be a pretty good set. The map is Entombed Valley. There, I said it again, it's a set, but it's actually just one game. And Pain User, the blue Terran at the bottom left, opening up with a 1-Rax, no, just a quick command center, no 1-Rax expand. And we saw this in the last cast I did. When the Terran goes for a command center first, you really need to be careful as Zerg, because you do not want to play just a normal hatch style. You actually want to get 3 hatches right away, and look at this. Looks like Fuzz already on that. He's got 3 hatches coming down, so very, very good intuition, even though he didn't really scout the front door. Oh, he did. He's had an Overlord over there, and he saw the command center coming down. And so, you know, both these players, they played against each other many times. They obviously are very talented. They're high Masters players, Grandmasters, I would say. And, you know, the beginning phase of the game, just chit-chatting a little bit. I guess Fuzz saying that he's going to listen to some Idra, or Idra is the right way to pronounce it. I don't know if you guys ever saw the Idra highlights video, but he's apparently really big into dubstep. So, I guess maybe Fuzz listening to some dubstep right now. I don't know how many of you guys are electronic music fans out there, but if you are, love to hear what your genre is. Post down below in the comments section. Personally, I'm really big into electronic music, and if you guys ever catch me on stream, I'm always playing like vocal trance. I really like vocal trance. I also like house music as well. So I don't know, tell me what genre of music you like. It doesn't have to be electronic, obviously. And I'd love to just hear what you guys enjoy. And it looks like right now we just have the build-up phase. Pain User did build a bunker at the front door, but, you know, being that he went command center first, obviously Fa isn't concerned here about Marine aggression. It's so unlikely that a Marine would be, in fact, it's like impossible for a Marine to be coming out right now. So he doesn't even really make anything but a single pair of Zerglings, and the pair of Zerglings here wasn't made to deny the bunker or anything like that. It was actually just made to, because you need a pair of Zerglings to prevent scouting SCVs, and we all know that bunker was pretty much tomfoolery. Now Pain User's going to get in here though, and he is going to scout the 3rd before that SCV dies. Poor guy, drill the last remnant of his body, and he is going to get inside and see the 3rd hatchery. So Pain User knows by this point, if he didn't, that, you know, Fuzz obviously going for the triple hatch build here. If the hatchery had still been morphing, then Pain User would know, okay, Fa actually went just 2 hatches. And the 3rd hatch is a little late, and he didn't get it before spawning pool. But it looks like Pain User here, thinking that he's got my cousin's number, is going to go in for a very aggressive move. 5 Marines and an SCV here, completely kind of catching me off guard as a caster, because you don't really expect this when the Terran goes for a command center first, and obviously the Zerg here did not expect it. Fa's going to lose his queen, and he's going to lose a ton of drones. Wow, that was really effective harass by Pain User, and should these Marines even die, they certainly served their purpose. And wow, they're even going to get out of there alive. That was really good by Pain User. Just realizing that the Zerg here was countering his greed with even more greed, and so kind of going a level below that and saying, well, if you're going to go so greedy, I'm going to bring a couple Marines, and, you know, it's a good payoff. There's a high reward for, you know, somewhat low risk. It's just a handful of Marines. You never know what you're going to get with that. The Marines are like a box of chocolates. Never know what you're going to get. So Babyfall here killing off the rocks between his natural and his third. And that's to be expected. You really want to be able to connect the tumors right away between the two bases. And I don't know if you guys caught the beginning banter between the players before they were talking about their musical preference, but they were mentioning, Pain User was mentioning Babyfall's creep spread, which is traditionally pretty good. And I've talked to him before about this, and he always says, well, if he focuses too much on creep spread, sometimes he messes up his macro, but he likes the creep spread anyways because it's cool. So, you know, he does put a lot of emphasis into creep spreading, but it can mess up his game a little bit. It does take a lot of focus. So we'll keep an eye here on his creep spread, but it certainly looks like he's made a ton of queens this game. Already has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 queens. And, you know, that's pretty standard nowadays against Terran. Either you go 4 queens, 5 queens, or 6 queens because they're so good with that range buff. Pretty much you don't even need to make anything. You don't need to make any Zerglings, you don't really need to make Banelings or anything, or Roaches even. If the Terran were to attack you with Marine Hellion, your queens are so strong now that they can hold it off pretty well. And, you know, you can play super macro because of the queens, the creep spread, the inject larva, and we can see that he's going to opt to go for another hatchery. Sure, why not? Terran also busting down the rocks, leading over to the right-hand side. And let's see if he's got a macro CC up. He does indeed. And he's also, wow, super greedy from Pain User here. Not only does he have a macro CC, but also double engineering base. So, you know, you can go the mass eco route, or you can go the mass tech route, or you can be Pain User. You could just go for both at once. And I guess this game, we are just going to have an epic build-up here. I also, by the way, love the wall at the front door. You can never be too safe. 4 barracks completely cuts it off, and you get great production out of the front line as well. And let's see how his upgrades are doing. Pain User at 1-1, about to finish. Stim Pack about to finish as well. I'd imagine that Combat Shields will be following up the Stim Pack upgrade shortly. Already has a couple Siege Tanks as well as Siege Mode sieged up already, or Siege Mode learned already. And it looks like Baneling speed is on the way, as well as +1/+1 just shortly behind the Terran player. And we do have a Spire on the way, so look for Babyfall here to start saving up some gas. In fact, already has 600 saved up. And this is what you usually want to do if you're Zerg. You wanna save up a lot of gas. In fact, being that Babyfall is going to be on 8 gases here, he can make a lot of mutas. And this is all because the Terran here, you know, Pain User's going so greedy that Babyfall can also counter this with high-level greed of his own. And this is very, very high stuff, you know, high-level stuff, because a lot of times when you play, you'll think, well, I'm just going to greed and out-greed my opponent, but what if he attacks you? You have to be on top of your scouting. You have to have that game intuition, that knowledge of how your opponent plays and how he's playing currently in order to say, okay, I think it's safe for me to go ahead and be greedy. So it's really a balancing act, and it looks like both players here are doing that quite well. Also, love the wall at the front door here. Look at this, Pain User. Man, he is they should have contracted him to build the Great Wall of China back in the old days. He is a master architect at this stuff. Look at that. That is pretty much impenetrable by any Zerg units at this point in the game. And he's also starting to get the starport out. So we're going to have Medivacs coming out pretty soon here to support his biological army. Still pretty big build up here. No real unit lost at this moment. 450 to 300, which is just minuscule for 12 minutes in. Babyfall also doing a really good job spreading that creep. Has now hit the middle of the map, and just, I mean, look at how many tumors there are in the middle right now. If you think about it, when you move out as a Terran, you drop a comsat. If you don't kill a lot of tumors and there's still a bunch left over, man, it's so annoying, because it's like, why use a comsat anyways when it's just going to replenish the tumors that damn quickly? But if a Zerg only throws like 1 or 2 very sparsely, then that comsat becomes so much more effective, because you Marines can kill off the sparse ones before the comsat runs out. Obviously, if there's a bunch here, then the Terran is forced to move out with his whole army, rather than just sending out those small patrols, you know, 3, 4 Marines, because that's not going to be able to kill all the tumors in time. And speaking of comsatting, it looks like that guy was comsatted. So Pain User will be able to get the 4th command center down. Meanwhile, it does look like Babyfa opting to take the 5th hatchery. My dog is tickling my foot right now, so excuse me, guys. I might burst into laughter. Babyfa coming in here, though, with Zerglings and Banelings, and it looks like he's going to try to just force the liftoff of this command center. So nice job right there. Going to go for the missile turrets as well. No, he never really made Mutalisk this game. In fact, he just went right into Corruptors. So that's why I kind of had my head scratching, because around the 12-minute, 13-minute mark, you'd expect a flock of mutants to fly in. And you can see Pain User was as well. He's got missile turrets up, but there really isn't any Mutalisks on the field. So Babyfa here, oh god, his creep spread is just so good. Wow. He's making so many Corruptors, so I guess he's going to go right up to Hive Tech. In fact, does he have Hive? Yeah, he's got Hive done, but he doesn't have the Greater Spire on the way yet. So right now, it's a little bit of a weird moment for Zerg, because he skipped Mutas, he went right into Corruptors. Obviously, this means the Greater Spire of the Hive is that much faster because he didn't have to invest gas. But the Corruptors are pretty much useless right now. They don't really do much. Corruption, I guess, is an ability that can work here, but I think Babyfa has to be a little careful. I don't think his army can really engage head on, but he's going in anyways with Zerglings and Banelings, and Pain User are really spread out right now with all of his tanks and Marines. So the frontal army was killed off, but there is no danger right now to his bases. There's just way too many tanks, man. That is an insane amount of tanks, and Pain User taking this liberty to go ahead and push out in the middle of the map. And this is what I was talking about. If you only move out with a small patrol of Marines to take out tumors, you're not going to kill all the tumors when there's this many on the field. It's like a fruitless effort. So really, this kind of forces the Terran. When you make this many tumors, it almost forces the Terran to push out with his entire army onto creep, which is what they don't want to do. And so this is a pretty nasty situation, because look at how far the creep is spread. It doesn't matter that the Zerg has, it doesn't matter really. The Zerg is just spread all the way now to the front of the base. This is pretty insane. And he's already starting to encroach the creep onto the tank line. So this is very dangerous. More patrols of Marines coming out, but another futile effort by the Marines. Resistance is futile. I don't know why I just had an image right there of Jean-Luc Picard talking to the Borg, but yes, those Marines, man, they are not going to be able to take out the creep. The creep will assimilate you today. And I don't know, man, Babyfa is getting pretty crazy on bases, on so many bases. Note the Harvester count pretty much dead even, but this is the real danger, I think, for Pain User. The Greater Spire is almost here. And does he have Vikings in production? He's got ship weapons, and that's going to help immensely, because Vikings benefit twice, as they shoot twice. But does he have Vikings? Yeah, he's got 3 Vikings in production, and he's got more Marines now trying to destroy the creep threat, trying to recede the line here, because it's getting too dangerous to have the creep this close to his base. But every time he comes out, he just gets ransacked by Zerglings, and pretty soon here, man, the Broodlords are going to be out on the field. 5 of them already morphing on the production tab. Those comsats did catch it, and now Pain User's got to know, all right, I need to get some Vikings out ASAT, pronto. And he's got, wow, 3 reactor starports, so 6 Vikings at a time. This is a crazy buildup, man. And, you know, they said to cast this game, I didn't really think it was going to be that insane, but so far, man, I know that at some point there is going to be an epic collision here, and it's going to be pretty fun to watch. I'm very interested to see who's going to take this game. We have a bunch of Hive upgrades on the way. 3-3 Adrenal Glands, Zerg Flyer Attacks level 2. Pain User's also got Vehicle Weapons level 2 and Ship Plating. Huh. Ship Plating. And I wonder if he's getting that just to deal with the Corruptors. I don't know, maybe he's going to switch to Sky Terran, but he's actually moving out here with 2 different patrol parties on the sides of Entombed Valley, trying to catch Babyfa off guard, I guess. But unfortunately for him on the left side, there is creep. And so this army will most likely get caught by the huge amount of infestors. My god, that's a lot of infestors. But perhaps that army was just served as a distraction, so these Marines can get inside and do the damage they need to do and maybe kill off this hatchery. And it looks like they're going to go for it. This hatchery taking a little bit of firepower. The Marines on the left side have already gone down. I don't know, man. I don't think Pain User is going to be able to kill anything. And Babyfa all over that. Takes out both armies mercilessly. Takes no prisoners of war. That's what he's doing right now. And not even the infested Terrans, man. So those attacks have pretty much been wasted by Pain User, not able to do much damage at all. But I'm wondering if he's going to switch to Sky Terran, because he is getting that ship. He did get the ship armor, And I mentioned this in a previous cast, but I've been watching the GSL, and you know, a lot of Terrans now, they don't know how to combat Infestor Broodlord. It's so difficult to stop. It's a great late game death ball for Zerg that a lot of Terrans are experimenting with Battlecruiser Raven Viking. And you know, Painuser has everything. He's got Ship 2 on the way, 2-2 in fact, so I think he might just go for Sky Terran here. That would be pretty insane. It looks like some Zerglings and Banelings going over to the expansion on the right, but they were caught on the way out. But he was able to get a burrowed Zergling down there. That is clever. And Painuser will have to force a Comsat or a turret to get rid of that, but he's engaging the army right now, and the Vikings have been fungled. Oh, they're chain fungled! But it doesn't look like Fuh's going to want to risk getting his infestors any closer because those Vikings are next to the tanks. They're covered by the tanks. And so Baby Fuh will decide to pull back. Oh man, this is getting kind of juicy right now. Upgrades, by the way, guys. The Zerg Air at 0-2, so it does not match the Air of Terran, at least not once 2-2 finishes, and we don't see any other upgrades coming out for Baby Fuh on Zerg Ground or Zerg Air. Meantime, the Comsat did go down, revealing that Zergling and allowing the command center to land, becoming a planetary fortress. 2 weapons on the siege tanks, and on the ground it looks like there's at least 3 armor, and I'm not too sure. It looks like 3-3, so wow, the Zerg is maxed right now. Look at the minimap, guys. It is purple. The map isn't spread with purple on the left. It's just a corner of blue. Painuser engaging here, or rather should I say Fuh engaging and now retreating. Gets Fungals off on the Vikings though. Wonderful Fungals. Painuser in trouble here. Needs to get his siege tanks closer to protect the Vikings, but the Vikings have been chain fungled and they're all gonna go down. Wow, Baby Fuh just killing off a huge amount of Vikings. And that is a big loss for Painuser because, you know, he didn't spread out the Vikings. He lost a bunch of Vikings in that combat, in that engagement, and now he really lacks anti-air. I honestly think if Fuh wanted to, he could just go into the Broodlords and take out all those tanks, but it looks like he's going to go in with the Cracklings instead. I believe they are cracked upgraded. Yes, they are. But that Planetary Fortress has building armor, and building armor pretty much negates crack. That kind of sounded a little funny. And the Planetary Fortress also has extended range, so it just killed off the Banelings in the back of the mineral field. Meanwhile, though, Fuh realizing, hey, I got enough Broodlords to just go straight in, and he's going to go for it, it looks like. But there is some more Vikings now out on the field. Remember, Painuser can build them 6 at a time. And so that is a lot of Vikings, and Fuh might just have to pull back, man. He does not want to get his units too close to those siege tanks, where Painuser can start to shell out his infestors. And that would be pretty dangerous for him. By the way, we do have Fusion Core just finishing, and 3 Tech Labs on the way, no doubt, on the starports. So we're going to see a switch to Sky Terran here from Painuser. This is going to be an insane match, guys, if Painuser can pull it off. But he gets his Vikings bundled again. Can't let this happen. A core unit in the Sky Terran composition is the Vikings, and he's just letting them all get bungled. Fuh going in here with all his Corruptors and Broodlords. And now there's not enough Vikings left, and the tanks are all going to go down. Painuser in a lot of trouble. Has to figure out a way to get his forces over here before he loses a planetary fortress. The Broodlords are starting to go to work with 9 Vikings now building at a time. Oh my god, the Viking production right now is just out of control. Painuser also banking quite a bit, so he can continue this war here. If he can get enough Vikings out on the field, he should be able to repel this engagement. Fungal goes down on that small pack of Marines to keep them down, but Fuh trying to figure out if he can bust through the armor here, if he can find a chink and exploit through this impregnable Terran wall. If he can take down one of these command centers, then he's got this game in the bag. It's as if Painuser right now is just barely holding on, man. His wall is spread so thin from the east to the west. And, you know, as soon as one of these gates, as soon as one of the doorways falls, then he's going to be in so much trouble, man. He's not going to be able to hold off. And it looks like Fuh's going in one more time here. It's a great fungal down on those Marines. Again, the Corruptor's going to work. Painuser immediately spreading those Vikings out of harm's way so he doesn't get fungal growth. And nice control here from Painuser, who's looking like he's going to come ahead in this battle. Very good spreading of the Vikings, and it doesn't look like Fuh's going to be able to hit all the Vikings with his fungals, and we'll have to pull back. Very nicely done right there by Painuser, and that's exactly what the Terran needed to do. He needed to spread out his forces, get the better concave, but he's got to be careful, gets fungled again. And it looks like despite getting bungled, he's still going to win out this battle, or it should be very, very close. All the Broodlords here starting to get whittled down, and now Marines coming out as well. And Fa realizing, hey, I'm out of Broodlords. Maybe it's time to go ahead and fall back. And not a bad decision right there at all. So now the Infestors have tuck-tailed and run. They are now back home, regenerating HP, regenerating mana that they can use in the next combat engagement. And there is an Ultralisk Cavern on the way. You know, I really like the Ultralisk Cavern here in this setup. Because the Terran player has gone with all these Vikings. Vikings obviously don't shoot Ultras, and you know, Ultras are very good at taking out enemy buildings. They can get in there and do a ton of damage, and it's going to force Pain-User here to switch into Marauders. But the thing is, Pain-User also has the Battlecruisers coming out, and once those PCs hit on the map, man, they are such a force to be reckoned with. Even Ultras can be a little bit, you know, feared of the Battlecruiser. The Battlecruiser obviously able to hit it, while the Ultra cannot shoot back. And so that's one thing that I think Fa's gonna have to be very careful about. Once more, Marines trying to come out to clean up the infestation of the creep here on Entombed Valley, but immediately Fa able to take out those pesky Marines very easily. Tons of drones mining over here on the eastern expansion as another hatchery is coming up. Comsat revealing that hatchery as well. Another orbital going to the right, and really, if you look at the map one more time, guys, it's like Pain-User is barely holding the line here against the massive infestation of the Zerg. Can Pain-User get that base mining down to the bottom right? It looks like he's going to take a small victory here once more, as his tanks are just doing such a good job against those infestors. And remember, guys, all Pain-User's doing right now is just holding off for the Battlecruisers. He's got Yamato Cannon on the way, 3-3 for his BCs as well, and the Zerg is going for Ultralisks. Now, that might put this game into a weird base race scenario. You might see the Zerg slam all of his Ultras and Zerglings and Infestors into the Terran army, into the Terran bases in fact, and force Pain-User to use his Battlecruisers in a defensive position. Meanwhile, Fa will try to rebuild Corruptors to combat the Battlecruisers. That's what happens a lot of times when you have a bunch of Ultras and then you find out that your opponent has BCs. Well, you might as well use your Ultras and slam them into the opponent's base, right? So that's what we might see happen here. It'll be a very interesting game, as we even have the Behemoth Reactor coming, so the Battlecruisers are going to definitely make use of Yamato Cannon. They get that extra energy capacity for the Yamato, and now it looks like Pain-User has revealed his BCs against the Creep Tumors. So Baby Fa knows what's going on now, has to make Corruptors pronto to combat the BCs. And I was going to mention this before, but a lot of Terrans, I think I did mention, a lot of Terrans are using this Sky Terran now. Battlecruisers, Vikings, and Ravens. But you need Ravens to combat the Zerg Deathball. I'll tell you why in a second, because Baby Fa's going in here with everything he's got. Gets a great bunch of bungles down, and it looks like his Ultras maw through the rest of the Terran army underneath. But what about the air? There's still a BC and several Vikings up here, and it looks like some Marines are able to leak on by up to the northern expansion. They took out one hatchery over here, and they're going to take out another hatchery as well. The BC has fallen in the middle of the map, and now it looks like Pain-User's going to go for the hatch, and he will get the kill, and loads up immediately as the Ultras get close. Now, this is going to give me a moment here to explain why you need a lot of Ravens to use the Sky Terran in Terran vs. Zerg super late game, and why a lot of Terrans have been trying this out now against Zerg. If you just go Battlecruiser Viking, the Infestor with Neuroparasite, which by the way is on the way, will completely dominate you. Fungal Growth and Neuroparasite on the Battlecruisers, and then Corruptor backup as well. Good night. You know, your Sky Terran is done. But when you incorporate Ravens, all of a sudden you've got PDD against the Vikings, and you've got a Seeker Missile against the clumped up Corruptors and Infestors. So we do see Corbin Reactor and Seeker Missile upgrade on the way, but a Pain-User hold on to get those upgrades out and to get Ravens and Vikings and more Ravens, Vikings, and Battlecruisers on the field. I don't know, man. It looks like he was able to hold off that attack right here, but there's still a lot of Ultras. Some Corruptors just flying in willy-nilly, gonna get taken out very easily. And the BCs with 3-3 upgrades repelling the Zerg ground. And Baby Fa has to tuck tail and run. Oh, this is a pretty epic game right now, ladies and gentlemen. It is so many bases on so many bases, can't even count right now. But the real threat, I think, for the Zerg, and the real ace card for Pain-User is that battle, the Ravens and the Seeker Missile upgrade. they are so effective when you can get a bunch of Ravens out, and you really need them to supplement your Terran Sky army. And you know, you guys might have been wondering for a long time, well, where does the Raven and Secret Missile fit in to professional StarCraft 2? I think a lot of Terran players now are starting to discover where exactly that place is. And so this is going to be very, very interesting how this kind of playstyle works out. We do have 2 medevacs, meanwhile, going over there on the right-hand side of the map. I think they're going to be spotted by the Overlords, and if they are not, they certainly will be by this one up here. The question, though, is Fubb paying attention on his mini-map? Does he know that the medevacs are coming in, and it doesn't look like he's going to spot it, and so he allows the medevacs to drop in. Now he's bringing back his forces as he gets the alert signal. Your forces are under attack, your drones are under attack, and he's going to lose a lot of drones here as his Ultras and Zerglings come back home. But the damage has been done by Pain User once more. Very effective drone harass, getting more drone kills, so he's been able to even up the SCVs lost in this game. And he's still got that medevac kind of flying around the backside here, looking to do more drop damage. Very nice by Pain User. You know, towards the late game, if you switch to Sky Terran, your medevacs, your Marines, your Marauders, they become less effective because you've transitioned your production. Your entire game has been shifted, you know, everything has been overhauled, so you really don't want to start to use Marines and Marauders too much anymore. So he's just dropping them, getting as many worker kills as possible. Notice he's focusing the workers on the gases. This one only has 2 and 2 right now. The ones over here were replenished back up to 3 and 3, it looks like, but the gas income for Zerg is so important in this matchup, so it's very wise of Pain User to go and target the gas, and it looks like he's been able to take the SCV lead now, 91/60. That's a little bit too much, actually, and Pain User realizing that, send some SCVs out to die. Oh man, I do not want to be the ones. Those guys drew the short straw on the stick, or the short straw. So that's pretty sucky. And those SCVs all going to get taken out. You know, if you had to choose your death, I don't think you'd want to run into the gaping claws of Zerglings and Ultras. You know, I'd much rather just, I don't know, die in a fire or something. But that sucks for those guys. And you know, Pain User's still doing a really good job this game, and he's got his Raven fleet starting to build up, making 3 more Ravens at a time. So this is just wild. Love the barracks wall over here on the right as well, adding in more barracks to his production queue. He's actually got a bunch with reactors as well, so this is really going to speed up his production if he gets them all hotkeyed on the same tab. And we do have double Nidus network coming up, and you know, when you build 2, you can actually make 2 exits at once, and that's the reason why you want to build more than 1. I'm not too sure where his Niduses are coming. There they are, and so this is going to be pretty interesting. BabyFa deciding, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and slam over here on the left. I know your entire Terran encampment's on the right, and I'm going to try to slam in here and make something happen. I love the infested Terrans as well, ready to intercept the incoming army, and here we go, ladies and gentlemen. A nuclear missile comes out. There is a nuclear missile on the way here. Pain User hoping to get the Zerg army with the nuclear missile, but it looks like BabyFa going to pull over to the north, get out of harm's way. Also gets a bungle on some of the Vikings as well on the way out. Nuke lands, doesn't really do that much damage, and we do have secret missiles coming out and hunting the infestors, and it does look like they're going to hit and get a couple of infestor kills. But this is getting kind of wild. Pain User, did he nuke some of his forces? I believe he did, because these Vikings took a little bit of damage there, and there wasn't really that many air units to get hit by, so I think he might have ended up nuking some of his own army, as BabyFa now realizes, hey, I'm going to go ahead and go in for an opening here and do some damage. He gets Neural Parasite off on the Ravens, doesn't use the Raven energy. Pain User nuking, now Pain User using Yamato Cannon on the infestors that have used Neural Parasite. This is an insane game. Neural Parasite also landing on the Ghost right there, and wow, this is a wild one. BabyFa still clawing his way through with his Ultras and his Zerglings inside the base, and now it's just down to infested Terrans versus and Corruptors versus Battlecruiser Raven and the sparse PDD. Very close air battle right here, but in the meantime, his production facilities are being ravaged by these 5-something-odd Ultralisks. And what a game we have in our hands. Meanwhile, more SCVs getting sent because they drew the short straw. And I don't know if Pain User can afford to be throwing away SCVs right now, man. His base is under attack. And Fa wins out the air battle with his Corruptors and his Infestors, so very nice job. Now going to send a reinforcing line of Zerglings over to the left-hand side of the map. A ton of Zerglings coming in here. Paynuser not prepared for this, trying to rebuild his army. He's making 3 battlecruisers, 2 nukes, and 8 Vikings, but really, unless he lands a wonderful nuclear missile, like a magical one, I really don't know how he's going to be able to stop this Terran army, or excuse me, this Zerg army. And Paynuser comes in with the battlecruisers and Vikings once more. It looks like, you know what, if he can just win out the air, if he can take out air control, then his battlecruisers can take out the BCs and Zerglings, but that will be a very long time because the Cracklings are doing damage. Nuclear missile comes out, and it looks like there's a nuke on the way right here from this Ghost, hoping to catch the Zerg forces as they retreat outwards. Meanwhile, it looks like infested, Neuroparasite landing on the battlecruisers, and the nuke comes down, but the Zerg units all escape out before the nuke lands. Really nice control by Pha on the way out, and now it's just down to, what is this, infested Terrans versus 3-3 battlecruisers, man? These species are so buff. They're hanging on against infested Terrans and Corruptors, man, and more PCs coming out, so Paynuser not quite out of it yet, but more Zerglings and Ultras still continuing to rampage through. They already took out the left-hand side of the map. This is like watching the Langoliers, man. I don't know if you guys ever read that book by Stephen King, but this is like the Langoliers right now. The Ultras and Zerglings coming from the east, ravaging all civilization and making they're just carnaging their way through everything. Paynuser, I don't know if he's going to be able to hold on at this point. He's going to lose another CC, and now the battlecruiser production facilities are under attack. Cannot afford to lose that. That's really his only lifeline left in this game. Infested Terrans starting to spin out, Infestors starting to spin out infested Terrans, and the starports are going down. Too many Cracklings for the Terran to handle, and the BCs can shoot all they want. They can rack up as many kills as they can get, but they will never stop this many Zerglings and Ultras and infested Terrans. Paynuser is going to have to tap out of this game. All of his barracks are now going down as well. The Zerg is now on Sauron Zerg status, just throwing all of his rallies, all of his reinforcements straight into what remains of the Terran base, and Paynuser realizes that that is pretty much all he's got. Great game, and I have to concur, that was an epic one. Holy crap. I will, yeah, and it looks like Pha now saying you shouldn't have made so many BCs, but no, I have to disagree with that. I think if Paynuser had made more Ravens to back up his BCs, it would have worked. And I know it's a hard build to pull off. You know, not every Terran, not everybody has figured it out yet. It's really in a state of flux right now. But that was insane. I just want to pull back real quick and look at one of the crazy battles here, because this was not this one. It was like a few minutes before this. It was so insane with the neural parasites going off on the battlecruisers, and then the nuke coming down, the neural coming out on the ghosts to counter the nuke. That was a real thing of beauty, and you know, superb control by both players. Now this is it right here, guys. So check this out. As the two armies are coming in, I'm just gonna slow down the speed as much as possible right here, and close this window. And you guys can see great control right here, neuroparasiting and bungling at the same time, man. So he catches the Ravens, but immediately what does Paynuser say? Okay, I'm gonna launch a nuke, and you know what? I'm gonna Yamato the Infestors that have controlled my Ravens. And I guess it's a little bit of a mistake that Pha did not use the Raven's energy right away, but he did neural the Ghost as it was nuking. That is insane. And you know, he sends the rest of his Ultras in to do some serious ground damage. And then it just came down to the Corruptors versus the Battlecruisers. Wow, that was, you don't see battles like this every day. So that made this game very, very epic. And super special to me because it's like my good friend and my relative just fighting against each other. So it was a really, really something here. Note guys, I didn't see this game. I'm casting it now live and bringing it to you guys. So I didn't know the result of this game, but that was just something special. And it looks like the Corruptors were able to win out in this battle, and of course the ground army was just doing tons of damage. I hope you guys enjoyed this cast. Remember the 92 Zerglings that are on the way here as well. That was the finishing blow for Paynuser. But I hope you guys enjoyed this cast as much as I did, and if you guys did, check me out. I'm on YouTube. I'm at HD StarCraft. You guys can find more StarCraft 2 commentaries there. You can also follow me on Facebook and Twitter at HD StarCraft. And I will see you guys in the next cast. So enjoy your weekend. Hope you guys all have fun. Heart of the Storm is on the way, and I'll see you guys next time. This is HD, signing out.